What's going on, guys? My name is Carl, and if you don't know already, I'm a part-time reseller on eBay. So today I received a return of an Xbox 360 controller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through me kind of diagnosing it, seeing what's wrong with it, and also trying to fix it as well. So quite a lot of times when I get faults or like returns because of faulty electronics, sometimes it might happen even if you've tested it as much as you can, it's working absolutely fine. Sometimes it may happen kind of on the other end, a fault may occur. Obviously with electronics, you never know what might go wrong with them. So quite a lot of times, if I do get an electronic back, I will try and kind of look into it, test it, see what the problem is, and then try and rectify it and fix it myself. So this is a little bit of soldering on a controller just to try and get it up and running and working again. So it just goes to show that you don't, if you do get an electronic that's broken, don't just chuck it straight away. The soldering iron I bought was about £5-6. It's not the best. I am looking to upgrade it, but £5-6, and then obviously you can look at if you've got some old controllers or anything like that, just take parts from that one, put them on the other one. And you're not spending a lot of money on trying to fix the problem, and then you could try and resell it again rather than just chucking it away. So let's get on to them clips and onto the intro as well. So this is the controller in question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to try and fix the problem. I have had a little test of it just on a Call of Duty game, and it does look like the left button is faulty. It does work. The person said that it didn't work at all, but it does work a little bit. It's just a little bit intermittent. After having a really good play on it, so I played for about 45 minutes just to make sure that everything else on the controller worked. It does actually look like both the analog sticks are drifting. So when you first use it, it doesn't, but then after a while of using it, it does seem like it starts to drift quite a bit. So I'm going to replace them too as well. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself I've mentioned this in a lot of different videos, is a Torque screwdriver. So this is just an Xbox 360 controller screwdriver. So if you just type that into eBay, Xbox 360 controller screwdriver, then you will get a controller screwdriver from there, about £2 or £3. So if I can try and get this one out. There we go. Sometimes there can be a bit of a pain if someone else has been in it at any point. May need to replace some of these screws as well, actually. I will speed up the boring bits. Let's have a look at these screws, because they'll... I think the problem is actually my screwdriver. There we go, all fixed. I actually had something in the centre part of the screwdriver, so it was actually my screwdriver's fault. I was trying to take out a difficult screw last night on one of the controllers, and something just got stuck in the middle. So yeah, take out all the screws. So there's 6 screws, 3 here and 3 here. And then there is one hidden one as well, which I'll show you in just a sec. So the one hidden one is just under the serial number here. So what you want to do is just get a knife and just come to the center of it. Try not to break it, because it does look much better when you've got that on. And obviously when you're taking photos of it, you want to take photos of the serial number, just in case it does get returned for any reason. And then you can match the serial number when it comes back. So pop your screws to one side so you don't lose them. So once you've got all the screws out, normally it's quite easy just to pull it at the back off with your fingers. If you do have trouble, use like a pry tool, don't force it off. Then what I like to do is just take off the rumblers, the vibrating motors, It's just extra weight to have when you're doing things. And then pop the front part to one side. Take the thumb grips off, because obviously we'll replace the thumb sticks, so I just use the same thumb grips. What I do normally do is just check on the inside of these, just to make sure that there's no kind of build up of stuff, just in case it is an easy fix. Then I'll pop this into my little holder. I'm going to try and zoom in. There we go on that. Now, I'm no expert on soldering. I don't know when I was in school, and that's as much expertise as I've got. So this literally can be done by anybody. So all you want to do is you want to get one of these little tools. Oh, that's really close. I forgot I was zoomed in. One of these little tools, and you just basically you pop the back down, press this button, and it just sucks the solder up. We used to call them a solder sucker. So you just want to lightly heat the area, and then just suck the solder up. I need to turn this up a bit actually. There we go. Try not to leave the soldering iron on for too long, because you can actually damage the contacts underneath, which means that the solder won't stick to it again. And when taking apart one of the thumb sticks, there is quite a few sections that you have to take off, so it can be quite daunting for people. I certainly found it daunting when I first did it. And just remember, just be a little bit cautious as well when you are putting the solder places. You do have plastic parts, so you don't want to get your soldering iron anywhere near the plastic parts, because you'll melt them. Luckily I do have some spares of them though. Alright, and I think that's that all off. So then what I tend to normally do is just go in with a knife and just very carefully try and pry. I'm not even showing yet. Let's zoom this out a bit. Yeah, sorry. So try and just gently pry that out. If it doesn't come out, what you want to do is just go back in with your soldering iron, because there might be some parts that are still soldered. And yep, I can see some parts that are still soldered. So that should do it. Go back in with your knife. Try and do this off camera so that I don't. Oh, there it goes. That's it gone. So that's it now out. So what you want to do is get your new one and then just pop it in the little holes that comes with. There we go. And then the fun part of just soldering all back on. So we'll speed this part up. Bear with me 2 seconds while I get this back in here. There we go. That's it all soldered back on. So, like I was saying before, you do have to be careful when you take the solder off, just because sometimes you may lose the contacts, which I did a little bit, but it might not be too much of an issue. Hopefully it will still work. So to do the other one, it is a little bit more of a pain because you have to take the bumper off, which means you have to unsolder these three and take that off, and then you obviously try and get the left bumper working as well. So I'm not going to bore you with all that. I'm just going to do it and then come back to the video, and then we'll get it tested and see if it's working. Okay, so that is everything replaced that needs to be replaced. I've replaced the left bumper button, I've replaced the 2 analog sticks, and put everything back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pop this on here, and before we screw it together, I'm going to test it. Always worth doing that before you screw it back together, just in case you need to take it back apart, which I need to do actually here because the spring's a bit messed up. There we go. There. Right, so let's get to testing it. I do apologise in advance if you can hear a jet engine in the background. That's actually just my Xbox 360. It's the Xbox 360E, which apparently is a known problem, which I didn't know. But anyway, the controller. So it is turn on, which is a good thing. It no longer has any play. So last time when I was doing this, it would be flicking backwards and forwards. So let's just go into campaign and try that. So resume game. This is really, really hard to do. I'm trying to keep my arms out while doing this, but I just want to show that everything is working. So the vibrating rumbles work absolutely fine. They've just rumbled in my hand. Come on. Please don't judge my terrible gaming. I'm trying to do this through through the phone. But that's a good sign that the 2 trigger buttons work absolutely fine. Let's see if, yeah, so that's the right one works fine, and also the left one works fine. That's the 2 bumper but 2 bumper buttons working. I'm trying to concentrate at the same time of doing this. It's really difficult. Typical bloke can do more than one thing at a time. Yeah, everything seems to be working perfectly. Oh, I'm going to get killed. There we go. Yeah, so everything seems to be working absolutely perfectly. And it just goes to show that, I mean, those analog sticks were, I think for 10 of them, were about £4. And the bumper button was off an old controller, which I took off, which wasn't working. Wouldn't take batteries, I believe, or something like that. So I took it off that. So that technically cost me nothing, but it just goes to show that putting a little bit of effort into it means that you can then resell it. So this controller does fetch a little bit more than the normal controllers, with it being the silver one, the chrome silver, and I don't mind putting £2 or £3 into it to try and get it fixed and then get it back onto eBay. So as you can see from that, it took me around about 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour to actually do the repair, and then about another 10 minutes or so just testing it. And I did do a really thorough test as well after that of about 45 minutes, just to make sure it was 100% working. Gives me an excuse to play on a couple of games as well. But it just goes to show that putting a little bit of time and effort into stuff, sometimes you can make that money back. So I mean, that wasn't a huge sale. It was £20, £19.99 plus postage. Obviously the guy got that money back, but now I can go on and I can sell that again. So it's now up and running, perfectly working again. I now can sell that again. Hopefully that problem won't reoccur. It shouldn't do, because the parts that were playing the part in the problem have now been replaced, and they are brand new parts apart from the bumper button. But you tend to find that they don't normally go wrong, so it was quite unusual that was the fault with that one. So if you do have any videos that you wish that you want me to put on, I know that wasn't a massive kind of really good tutorial, if that makes sense. It was just a little bit of soldering and stuff like that, but it's just showing a little bit of how you can try and rectify problems. If there is any videos that you want me to see me do, let me know, and I can certainly do some videos on, maybe if you want to teach you how to solder. As I say, I'm no expert, so I can kind of teach you what I know. If you want me to teach you how to get the parts in or whatever, what parts you need and things like that, or what parts to save from an Xbox 360 controller as well, because you'll be surprised at how much you can actually take from an Xbox 360 controllers to put into your spares as well. So hope you liked that video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.